Coming up on the Stifel Snow Show, fasten your seatbelts because it is full steam ahead to the world's biggest stage. And we're chasing down Macuga, Breezy Johnson and the women's alpine team. They're pumped and the adrenaline is flowing. Meanwhile, the moguls circuit's just trying to keep up, but it's going to be hard to catch her. Jaelin Kauf is on a tear. And Chris Lillis' runway to Milan Cortina is paved with gold. He's ready for takeoff with an on-time arrival in 2026. With the Winter Games fast approaching, we're ready to go. Hello and a very warm welcome into this week's Stifel Snow Show. I'm Anna Jackson, bringing you the latest and greatest in skiing and snowboarding from around the globe. And in anticipation of the 2026 Milan Cortina Winter Olympics and Paralympics, we are stargazing because these athletes are among the greatest in the world, and oh, how they shine. So let's check out where members of the US ski and snowboard team have been competing. The almighty moguls and aerials team are in Almaty, Kazakhstan. Then we'll snowboard over to Erzurum, Turkey, and over to Tarvisio, Italy for the Alpine Junior World Ski Championships. Then off to the renowned tracks of Trondheim, Norway for cross-country and the Nordic World Ski Championships. Yet we begin where things are definitely looking up for the downhillers of women's alpine in Kvitfjell, Norway. Well, first up, Park City, Utah's Macuga has had a lot to celebrate this season. Seems Cougs has been checking off quite a bit of her proverbial bucket hat list, including her first ever World Cup in Super G in St. Anton, her first podium, and the first time any US woman has won a Super G at the venue. That means a lot of joy for the Macuga family, especially with 4 siblings in the snow sport game. We caught up with 3 of them, well, another sort of contest, which we're calling the Macuga Sisters Game.
Peter's gonna hand you some name cards. We're gonna do a who's the best / most likely to quick game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Who gets up first in the morning? What do we say?
Did you say Lauren?
I said Lauren.
Certainly not me. We all know that.
It's not Allie. It's not Allie.
Who's more likely to lose their phone?
Did we all say me? Yeah.
Who's the best dancer?
I not put one up. We're not very good.
Come on, I'm better.
Okay.
Who complains the most?
This is hard. Yeah. Throwing myself under the bus.
Who's the best cook?
Oh, well.
Oh, that's what I was gonna put too.
Hey, we gave it to you.
Thanks, guys.
Almost the same.
Who's the prankster?
What we need is a Daniel card.
Yeah, where's Daniel?
Daniel.
Daniel.
Daniel's our younger brother who we love very much.
He does alpine as well.
Who's the best listener?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's my job.
Who's the hardest worker? That was 2 for 2. That was good. Most likely to get in trouble with mom and dad.
Daniel card.
Oh, that's tough.
That is tough, but I put myself, so.
Who's the best cheerleader?
Sorry, we're not making this easy.
I don't fully understand ski jumping or racing, but I'm like, yay, you did so well. And they'll be like, well, that was actually really bad. I'm like, I thought it was really good. Or you do really good. And I'll be like, was that good? And you're like, yeah, I just podiumed. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you're like, great job.
Good job.
There's lots of sibling pairs or sets of siblings on the team, but I mean, as far as I know, no one's done it in different sports. We can be equally excited for each other because it's in different things. Like, I don't have to be competing with Lauren or Allie or Daniel. It's like, I'm just excited for them because I'm ski jumping and that's my thing. Like, you can do moguls.
Moguls is mine. Don't take it. Get out.
Don't come over here either.
So much fun and resounding agreement on the hardest workers amongst a trio of very competitive spirits. And chasing her first downhill World Cup podium in Kvitfjell, Norway, certainly on brand for the Macuga sisters, because Lauren sent it with a solid run. Evident in pursuit of staying in the green through each sector, Macuga remarking that she went out there charging, saying she was trying to be clean and also smart over the jump, calling it a crucial part of the course. Charge she did, making up a lot of missed time to punch her way over the finish in first place. Macuga landing in the number 2 spot with her first ever World Cup downhill podium. But nothing says you did it like Mom Amy's hugs and lots of loving pride.
Oh my gosh, my heart's full. Like watching them, I start crying. I mean, this is, I don't know, I'm so proud. They work so hard. It's just overwhelming, and I'm not one to cry a lot, but I watch how hard they work, and yeah, I couldn't be prouder. I'm just amazed and very, very proud, and my heart is full.
A lot of emotion and a very full heart indeed. Well, it was also a full send moment as well for Macuga's teammate Breezy Johnson, who was also ready to give it her all on another Kvitfjell downhill. Fresh off her 2 World Championship golds in Saalbach, the Jackson Hole, Wyoming native was gunning for her first World Cup podium of the season. One of those golds coming in downhill for Johnson, likely adding to the confidence and drive for the 29-year-old. Not to mention having been paired with Michaela Schifrin to win the new team combined event. Thus her focus and determination helping to propel her through some course mistakes while still gaining speed. Johnson saying you have to push and try things out. You must risk things. Teammate Jackie Wiles, running in bib number 2, was new to Kvitfjell downhill, having not raced the venue prior. The 2-time Olympian from Portland, Oregon, executing a solid run to land in 8th place, giving her 2 top 10s in the discipline this season. Johnson taking 3rd with Emma Eicher in 2nd and Austria's Connie Hutter in 1st. Well, coming up, he's an Olympic gold medalist in aerial skiing.
I'm Chris Lillis, and I'm coming up next on the Stifel Snow Show.
And it's almost like being there, isn't it? In Almaty, Kazakhstan, that is, where 2022 Beijing Olympian Dylan Wolzak took us on this amazing point of view ride on social. His course preview ahead of moguls competition, returning tough light and sharp, tight turns. Very cool, though, to see the total realness of the speed and agility that this sport demands. The Breckenridge, Colorado native ultimately deeming the run a good challenge. And this season on the Stifel Snow Show, we shared a look inside the inspiring camaraderie of the women's US Freestyle Moguls team. True fellowship in flight. We saw what really makes this team soar. So far, achieving 12 collective World Cup medals across 8 races. Carving out time to support one another has continued the magic for the women, and in turn, Jaelin Kauf, our Stifel Star of the Week. Creating extremely difficult conditions for the athletes, Almaty featured dense clouds mixed with snow for the women's moguls competition. Coming in on a hot streak, mogul sensation Jaelin Kauf brought the fire yet again, earning the best time score of the day. The Olympic silver medalist vying for the win in every start. And in a septennial showing to remember, Vail, Colorado's Tess Johnson qualified for finals in the top spot, earning the highest air score of the day. Quick and clean turns would serve her well, and for the first time in 7 years, Johnson would stand atop the World Cup podium. Her 2nd career win and 2nd podium this season. Kauf finished 2nd, earning her 11th podium in a row. And on to dual moguls for the women, where Jaelin Kauf would pair up against Rino Yanagimoto. But the fastest woman on the Moguls World Cup circuit's run would soon turn her historic, her pace untouchable. Kauf would celebrate with the top spot on the podium, her 15th career win in 48th career podium. This win cementing Kauf's position as both the dual moguls and overall World Cup leader, clinching 2 crystal globes. All the excitement that is aerials also features in Almaty recently, so it's our absolute pleasure to welcome in 2022 Beijing Olympic gold medalist Chris Lillis. Chris, so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk about your amazing season results. 4 podiums this season, 3 individual and 1 team. Just give us your thoughts on how it's all shaken out this year.
Well, it's been a good season. Happy with the podiums. Always good to be up on the box, representing the United States. I'd say my favorite one was the Deer Valley World Cup. Being able to do it on home snow for the first time in my career was definitely a huge moment for me. But it's been a season of ups and downs too. So I'm always an athlete that's looking for more, want more wins, want to get on the podium more times, and I've had a few competitions where I wasn't able to do that, but mostly happy with the execution and looking forward to World Cup finals next week.
Let's look at, I'm sure, your career highlight, the magic that was 2022 Beijing. Just talk us through that jump. What was on your mind? We're going to have a quick look at it here because it looked unbelievable.
Well, it was definitely, an intense moment. It was my first Olympic appearance, and so I just remember being right here, just trying to stay focused. And aerial skiers, we wait for the coach. So I'm sure if we show it, you'll see a moment right there where the coach puts the hands up, and that's just my moment to go. Turn the skis right away. I'd known how to do this trick, a double full, full double full, and been training it like crazy coming in. But it's one of the hardest tricks in the world, and so the reason that you're seeing so much emotion right there is not only that it's the Olympics, but I knew that was a jump that was going to go a long way into helping us win. And so just to be able to do that, and then two of my best friends in the world on the team, Ashley Caldwell and Justin Schoenefeld. And that's the thing that's special about the team events. You're not just jumping for yourself, you're jumping for your teammates. And so just to be able to not let them down and put down, one of the hardest tricks in the world and one of the biggest moments, I don't know. I was dizzy. It was definitely the most special moment of my career. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again next year.
I mean, it looks like one of the hardest tricks in the world. What an absolute thrill that must have been, that moment. And now you look at it, we're just under a year out from the Olympics again. You're taking part in a test event in Livigno. Just give us your thoughts on this sort of dress rehearsal opportunity.
Well, I mean, I'm really excited about the test event. During the COVID pandemic, we weren't able to do a test event before Beijing. So when we got there, we kind of had to learn the site and learn the venue and all that stuff on the fly. And so to be able to get there and see everything, it really helps us as athletes. I think a lot of Olympians would tell you that we focus a lot on visualization and visualizing, what we want. So, it'll be exciting to learn the event and learn some kind of nuances of the site, but also just to have that picture in your mind, something that you can, that I can visualize for the next year. And hopefully, that'll help me once I get there, have another big moment.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm not going to lie, Chris, I have to say aerials looks really quite scary for the average person. A lot of us will never experience anything like that. What is it like standing at the top of your run and looking down, knowing what you're about to take on?
Well, I would say, the competition days are the easiest. Those are when we have so much emotion and adrenaline. But it's always funny. People are always like, oh, man, I would be so terrified. It looks scary. It's scary for us. So every athlete that you see out there doing aerials, we're relatively fearful, relatively terrified. I think that as you grow through the sport and get a lot of experience, you kind of just learn how to deal with that fear. So it's a lot about just controlling your emotions, deep breaths. Looking down in an aerials jump is intimidating no matter how many times you did it. This is my 10th year of 60-foot triple backflips, and it never gets old. It's like riding a roller coaster with no seatbelt. So, it's a huge part of it is like the technical side, but also just controlling your emotions in that start gate, whether it be fear or, any anxiety with the competition. And so you'll see a lot of deep breaths, and then there's a lot of adrenaline that goes along with it. So I try to use that as much as possible. If you watch me, it's like I'm not quite still. I'm usually kind of banging my legs or kind of banging around a little bit, and just, you're trying to stay pumped up for that moment every time you hit the jump.
You've actually already treated us to a little bit of your musical talent. So we hear you actually do travel with your guitar. What role does music play in your life?
Well, I've always loved music. I started, when I was a kid with piano lessons, really kind of took to it, but switched to the guitar, and I still play piano. I actually just was caught playing some piano in the lounge in Turkey, in the Turkish airport in Istanbul. But
what were you playing?
We bring the guitars on tour. Oh, just a little bit of everything. I'm a big Billy Joel, Elton John guy when I'm playing around. But bring the guitars a lot more portable. So I have my guitar with me right here in the room. I bring it just about everywhere. It can get kind of inconvenient at times, but a lot of times people can't tell whether I'm a musician or a skier. They see ski boots on the back of my backpack and a guitar in my hand, and you kind of pick what profession I'm traveling for.
Well, you're clearly a very charismatic guy with a lot of energy, Chris. Thank you so much for your time. We know you've got a busy schedule, so we really appreciate you spending some time with us on the Stifel Snow Show, and best of luck with everything going forward.
All right, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you having me, and we'll talk again soon, hopefully.
Thank you, Chris. Well, next up, we are talking cross-country when we're back, so make sure you stay with us.
More from the Stifel Snow Show next. That was good.
When you guys first met, was there like a competitiveness?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, for
big
sure.
time. Probably more so than now.
Oh, way more than now, yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. When did we first meet?
We met at a training camp in Burlington, Vermont. I remember I was intimidated by like this Alaskan crew of people who were serious.
Well, because then it was like Vermont versus Alaska, and now it's US versus the world.
I mean, we really like had the pleasure of going through like the whole trajectory together.
Yeah, like we went to World Juniors together. We were on the same relay team that got the first men's relay medal for the US. The first years we were competing as American teammates, I'd say were like huge for the sense of like togetherness.
Totally. I think the relationship that we form is like both like close friends, but also, you know, effective teammates. It can be really incredible to talk to after a bad race and after a good race, and that's a real mark of a quality guy.
We've done a good job of like recognizing that it's totally fine to be like jealous of your teammates.
For sure.
But at the end of the day, like you also have to be stoked for them.
Yeah.
We all do that to each other. It makes having success and having failure both so great. You have success and you know your teammates don't resent you for it. And you have failure and you know that when you show up for your guys, like they're gonna show up for you, and that just makes the whole thing a lot easier.
Yeah.
The whole Vermont thing though.
I leaned into that pretty hard.
Yeah, you talks about like maple syrup like it's his full-time job.
That's true, that is true.
Teammates and twinning all at the same time. We'll shout out to another sparkling duo on the women's side in Trondheim, Norway. The US's Jessie Diggins and Julia Kern won a silver medal in classic team sprint, marking a second consecutive World Championships podium following their 2023 bronze. Seven-time world medalist Diggins and now two-time medalist Kern celebrating amidst a decade of training together. The Stifel US ski team posting the winning recipe on social as fast skis, best friends, and lots of grit. And more results from the 2025 Nordic World Ski Championships are Fast Facts powered by iFit. Julia Kern taking 5th in women's sprint free, Gus Shoemaker and JC Schoonmaker 6th in men's classic team sprint. Also of note, shout out to our past guest Johannes Klabo of Norway, winning big on home snow with 4 golds, and topped off with the athletes spreading the good word on Protect Our Winters.
So our World Championship suits are in collaboration with Protect Our Winters, and I'm super, super proud to be wearing this suit. It represents melting ice caps because the future of not just our sport, but our planet is incredibly important.
Climate change impacts my ability to do my job as a winter sports athlete, but more importantly, impacts communities around the world. I'm just really proud to show my support for organizations like POW who are working to take climate action.
Erzurum, Turkey now, and men's snowboard cross, where Olympic gold medalist Nick Baumgartner revisited a noteworthy course. In 2018, at this same venue, he qualified for his 3rd Olympics just 4 weeks after breaking his back. The seasoned veteran stepping into the very same start gate, now excited to stand atop the podium, saying, "I had a blast out there, and that energy kept me riding smart and fast." Baumgartner snagged 3rd place, breaking a 2.5-year podium drought, and afterwards having a blast on social. The now 43-year-old proving that as the oldest athlete in the field, age is indeed just a number.
Kurka out of Palmer, Alaska, now on course.
It's crazy how 4 years or an entire career comes down to like one moment, and it can shape your entire life.
Kurka has speed.
For me, alpine skiing is about the rush.
He is looking extremely fast pass, picking up a beautiful line.
It's not just to win, it's not just to be competitive. That portion of my life is super cool as well, and I really enjoy it.
Andrew Kurka to the line. A blistering fast time.
It's about reminding myself that I'm alive every single day, and it's about the fact that I can change lives, especially people who are disabled, to a new form of life that they can live.
What a performance, taking home the gold medal.
I wouldn't be where I am without that gold medal. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to, A, reach people so that I could help them, and then B, reach people so that they could help me help others. My message to the next generation is to come beat me. Give me your all, because the world could use as much inspiration and as many Paralympic athletes as it can get. You could help people to change their lives, and all you have to do is ski really fast. Seems like a good deal.
What a story. Well, that was our Stifel Spotlight, given we are officially at the one-year out mark, looking towards the 2026 Milan Cortina Paralympic Winter Games. And as always, there will be a plethora of incredible storylines to watch across the 6 sports that will be contested in Italy, with the Paralympic motto, Spirit in Motion, representing the strong will of every Paralympian. And an absolute joy to see the rise of the Paralympics over the years, along with the incredible elite athletes, those we've seen grow into leaders and also those we see ascending this very World Cup season, including speed specialist Andrew Kurka, 3-time Paralympic gold medalist Brenna Huckaby, 2-time world champion Zach Miller, and 17-year-old para-alpine skier Audrey Crowley. You will not want to miss these Paralympic Games in 2026. And how about this? Because when you are the women of the Toyota US Paris Snowboard team and you sweep the podium, Monster Mike Schultz is going to step up with the broom and add even more shine. Advanced team tidying, perhaps. Steamboat Springs got a bit of sprucing with an all-American podium in Kate Delson, Brenna Huckaby and Courtney Godfrey, the first domestic Paris Snowboard World Cup in 8 years. And how about the national championships and some colourful get-ups? Are those Superman PJs, Zach Miller? More proof that there is indeed a superhero in all of us. Well, that's it for this week's edition of the Stifel Snow Show. Look forward to seeing you again for our March 15th episode on CNBC and Shaun White's The Snow League, available on Peacock. I'm Anna Jackson, and we will see you next week.